We are back, video number 5, and I'm just so happy that you guys are here. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and let's go ahead and get started. So, my Canon F1 is currently in the shop, but I took some pictures with it before it actually went to get repaired. I've been really distraught about not having this camera. I didn't realize how much this camera meant to me, but it's the camera that kind of got me inspired to shoot at a more consistent pace. I also recently just started selling prints, and so I'm actually going to be announcing my new prints for the month of August or September, or whatever month you're in. I don't know. I feel like time is weird for me all the time. But as you can see, I'm just dropping some of the pictures before we get into the meat and potatoes of why we're actually making this particular video. So I'm hoping you guys are enjoying my Canon F1 photos. For me, this was a challenge, not because I haven't shot my Mamiya. Usually I use my Mamiya strictly for portraits. Portraits is just where my love is. It's where my strength is. I don't shoot portraits as much, but I would like to get back into shooting portraits. I think I said that on a few different videos. But the Mamiya is one of these cameras that is a little bit heavier. It slows down your process, and I think that process being slowed down for me was something I had to embrace, because if my F1 was in the studio, not in the studio, at the shop getting repaired, I had to figure out what I wanted to shoot. Initially, I was going to shoot my Canon P, but I just don't like the way it feels right now, and I'm shooting my Canon A1 in the interim, so if I got bookings and stuff like that, I can still shoot that camera. It's a really great camera. It's just not my F1. Me and my F1 have a special relationship. That's why I'm so hurt that I don't have it. So shooting with my Mamiya RB67, I knew what that was going to be. I knew what kind of challenge that would possess, because I've been so used to shooting rapidly and making healthy mistakes. I knew that I was going to have to step up to the plate and be really thorough about what it is that I wanted to create. So I decided I was going to shoot with Portra. I think I did 2 rolls of Portra 800 and 1 roll of Portra 160, and we'll get to 160. Portra 800 has been a roll that I've shot in the past, and I think the beautiful thing with these particular rolls, we'll start with the first roll. The first roll was a practice roll. I just needed to get I had to get my hands wet. I had to get familiar with shooting 120 without shooting portraits. Came out really, really good. There's specific shots. There's this shot of me shooting in almost somebody's backyard, and I like the way my colors came out. But also, I'm shooting Portra 800 at 400, so my colors came out more pastel-y, very colorful and very vibrant. And I also was hanging out with Sauce, and so we were just in Rodeo shooting in this old scenic area. Really fun, really good photos. And then I decided, well, I think I should go back to Black Sand Beach. So I had to come up with an idea or a place I wanted to go, you know? So I knew I was going to Black Sand Beach, but I also said, okay, the Golden Gate Bridge is there too. And then there's this lighthouse that I wanted to check out, but I didn't necessarily make it to the lighthouse, but I knew I was going to Black Sand Beach. So as I was walking to Black Sand Beach, well, you know, you drive there and you have to walk down this really, really intense hill. I had some of my practice roll and also some of my practice roll left over, and then I also had a new roll to begin. So the shots you're kind of seeing right now is shots from the practice roll. Really cool photos. One of the things I really appreciate is the amount of detail that this captures. The colors are also really, really vibrant too, right? So I love shooting Kodak 800, especially at 400, because it's like, whoo, these colors are bright and vibrant, and that's what I like to see in my film and my specific shots. As I moved forward, though, I loaded up the camera again, and I knew I was walking down this walkway. But again, I only have 10 to 12 shots. And so it becomes this thing for me where you either overthink don't think too much or you're right in the middle. And I had to try to find my middle space because, again, it's 10 shots, so I have to make each shot count. Whereas when you shoot 35 millimeter, again, there's this beautiful thing around a healthy mistake. I can make a mistake and then not look at a photo for a few months, then come back and check it out and be like, oh no, this photo's hard. Whereas when I shoot with my Mamiya, sometimes I feel like it's a set. Every photo shoot or everything I shoot with it has to be in a set. It is not it's not like an individual thing. And so I try to make my photos more intentional, but it also screams to my patience, right? And I'm not necessarily somebody that is extremely patient because I get really trigger happy, but shooting with this, it made me kind of slow down. And I still got a lot of the great shots that I was looking for, but there was something I was searching for that I don't know if I was able to get in full totality. Also, this camera's kind of heavy, so you don't want to necessarily walk up and down, up and down. I'm trying to conserve energy, and I was shooting in between a time crunch because I also knew that I was going to go to the Golden Gate Bridge and or that lighthouse as well. So I finished up at Black Sand, and I was really, really happy with my flow shooting. I think I was being really intentional and I wasn't really wasting any shots. But I started to feel a little bit overwhelmed because, again, there's this thing when I shoot my Mamiya, again, if I'm not shooting portraits, I'll start to get into my head. So I headed to the lighthouse. It said it was temporarily closed. And when I went there, I couldn't find parking. So I said, you know what? I'll just come back on another day and I'll just go home. I wasn't really even trying to shoot at the Golden Gate Bridge until I found me an awesome park on a whim. And as soon as I got out of my car, the sun was going down. I was right at the end of the sunset, or at the beginning of the sunset, and I just started shooting fast as all get out. I tried to shoot because I didn't want to waste a moment, because watching the sun go down, especially because in California the sun is starting to go down faster and faster and faster right now because we're getting into winter and fall. I was just getting after it. I was trying to capture as much as I could, but I had to slow down because, again, I only have 10 shots and I'm shooting with Portra 160. So I had absolutely no idea how these photos were going to come out, and I was really, really paranoid because in the past when I've shot Portra 160, typically what happens is my photos come out extremely cold and have hella hints of magenta, and I wasn't really digging that. However, these photos in particular came out pretty good, right? Like, they came out as if I wanted them to come out. I don't know if I could have expected anything different because, again, I haven't shot 160 in a really, really long time. But again, my thing with the Golden Gate Bridge is it's like such a luxury to have. Like, it is a beautiful benefit to have something so beautiful where I'm from. Like, I don't care if we see the same photos over and over again. There is something extremely, I don't even know how to describe it, but it's like special. And I feel lucky to be able to have something that beautiful to shoot. I guess my takeaway from this experience, from gathering these photos across the board, was workflow is workflow. And I think how I find myself at my most creative is when I don't feel so limited. However, there is a beauty to patience. I'll talk about this. So there was one specific shot that I was trying to get, and these birds were flying by the Golden Gate Bridge. Part of me said, just wait, capture the shot. They're probably gonna fly by the bridge. But it looked like they weren't. So, you know what? Take a picture of the birds, call it a day. I turned my back, getting ready to walk away. And right as I turned my back, I turned back around. Now the birds are flying. I think there's this beauty in patience. And that's been something I'm working on as a creative. How to be more patient, how to wait. And I think as a photographer, I always say we're like modern day timekeepers. We capture the beauty, we capture the ugly, we capture all the stuff, so people can look back at it at a different time. I have to also be thoughtful about my role in that, right? Like how I'm patient, how I'm really setting up for each shot. Mamiya is very important to me, and it's also really pivotal when I needed it to be when I bought it in 2020. But I also just missed my Canon F1. So hopefully by my next video it's back. But if it's not, then we'll be shooting with this bad boy and we'll be taking it on one. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's what I got for y'all. Oh, lastly, I am selling prints. I'm gonna be dropping a new set of prints probably next week for September, because I have a whole professional photo printer now, and we made a whole video. Shouts out to my best friend Sauce. And yeah, so I just want to be able to have work that you guys can put up on your walls and be able to celebrate those things, because it feels good to see my art in a physical medium, but it also feels good for you guys to have it, because what's the point of just looking at really nice photos if you can't put them on the wall or have it in a book? So that's what I got for y'all, man. Thank you guys again for watching and sticking all the way through. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Later.